Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over a story titled, I Ruined Everything for Nothing. And guys, this story is written by a woman, and she's going to share about her whole story, and not to mention pretty much cry her eyes out and sing the blues, look for pity, about how she completely torpedoed her marriage. And not just her marriage, obviously the relationship with her husband, but also her kids. And she's going to share her story about how you're going to see that she never had relations with any other man except her husband, and started getting bored like a lot of women do and wondering if the grass was greener on the other side, and eventually has an affair with a younger guy who's married as well. But you're going to see ultimately, just like all these stories, she gets caught. Except her husband isn't one of these guys who's just going to cave and forgive her and listen to all her crocodile tears and that's it. No. She's done. She's toast. And not just with him, but also with her kids as well. But of course, crying the blues, looking for a lot of pity online. And so I'm doing this one, guys, as an example of how in today's world, in our Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 world, if you think you're safe with your wife because maybe you just so happened to get a gal who was a virgin, and that, oh, well, since she never hooked up with anybody else, I'm safe. Wrong. Because, again, in today's world where you're not an empowered woman unless you request an open relationship or things like that, some of these gals start wondering. And the next thing you know, they're bored and see opportunity, they step out. How many stories have I done where that has happened? How many of you guys have been in a situation that happened to you? I hope not many, but I'm sure it has. So, welcome to today's world. So this idea that you get yourself virgin and, oh, that's it, I'm safe, good to go. Wrong. I always thought that idea was idiotic, and I stand by that, amongst many other things you're going to see in this whole story, which I'll point out along the way. So it starts off, I don't really know where to begin. I have destroyed my family, my husband is leaving me, and my children don't even want to be in the same room. My sister suggested I post here to maybe get some advice. Your sister posted here, so you'd probably shut up and leave her alone because she's probably listening to you with your sob story. That's what's probably going on. It took a lot of effort to even type this out. I've been crying for weeks, and I found out I was lying to myself, trying to make myself look better in this story. What hope is there when I can't even be honest to just me? All alone by myself. I'm in a terrible state, so this is a bit all over the place. Sorry about the wall of gibberish in advance. I'm a 38-year-old female. My husband is 39, and we have 4 children. 15 to 8 years old, and we've been together since I was 16, married 18 great years. Great years. And by the way, guys, you're going to see that she sounds like she has a pretty nice life in terms of the family, with the kids, the dynamic in the family, how her husband treats her, security and all that. But still, threw it all away just for some sausage. She said, I had an affair. It felt great for a while. Now in hindsight, I know it was all a delusion, a fantasy. Now I'm so ashamed I don't know the words to even describe it. I can't even look at myself in the mirror. Everybody hates me, including my own sister, who's the only person that would take me in. Oh, boo-hoo. You make your bed, you lie in it. And you rely on a whole lot in some other dude's bed. My sister is a cheater, by the way. What's with this family? Her fiancé left her for it. She yells at me constantly, telling me what a piece of crap I am. She did the same thing. She found out about my affair early on. She warned me I was on a path to disaster if I didn't stop immediately and come clean. I was too selfish and stupid to see that. I was too wrapped up in myself to listen to her. So I refused to stop. She in turn cut me out of her life until she picked me up. You had your warning from someone that had been through it, but you didn't listen. You know better. My husband started divorce proceedings, and I don't even want to talk, and doesn't even want to talk to me. I don't even know how, or even if, I can fix any of this. He has said he would come and talk with me the last 3 days, but he hasn't showed up. Again, boo-hoo. I can't blame him. I hurt him so badly. I broke him, my family, my children, and myself, and I wish so much I could take their pain away and just disappear. All I do is stay in bed staring at the ceiling, hating myself. Whenever it is quiet, it feels like my heart is trying to escape from my chest. I get panic attacks where I struggle to breathe. I'm hardly able to eat. Whenever I fall asleep, I'm in my nightmares. I see my husband's pain and him looking at me without love in his eyes. Well, she can start a career as a novelist with the way she's writing here. Good Lord, lady. Get to the point. The therapist that I've been seeing believes this may have started for me about 3 years ago. My best friend from school died suddenly from cancer. She never married. She was a partner at a law firm and had an extravagant lifestyle. I have always admired her. Or you've always been envious of her. While you're trying to be honest, let's be honest with yourself. I say envy. I have an okay career in marketing and have been a stay-at-home mom for long periods when our children were small. The time at home with my children was the best time of my life. So, your husband makes enough money that you could be a stay-at-home mom for a long period of time. And the time with your kids is the best period in your life. So, again, it sounds like she has it pretty good. And wait till you see how she describes how her husband treats her. So it goes to show you guys, you can do all these great things, provide a nice life, and still, to some gals, doesn't matter. For some reason, I started re-examining my life when my friend died, especially what I hadn't done. I became very critical of myself. I started feeling inadequate. My self-esteem plummeted. I'd only been with my husband, and I started to resent him for it, like he had denied me romance or experiences or something. Your husband denied you romance and experiences or something? You're going to blame it on him that you didn't get enough sausage when you were younger? That was your choice. In reality, I twisted around in my head. It was me that actually pursued him. I was the one that wanted marriage and a family. So there you go. That's usually how it works. The gal pushes the guy into the relationship, the marriage and the family. So don't blame him because you didn't get enough sausage when you were younger. I felt like I should have done better with my life, experienced more, done more. Somehow I managed to blame my husband for all of it. I didn't actually talk to him about it. Deep down, I knew I was just stupid. Still, I grew resentful, and gradually over time, I would push my husband away. I had no reason at all to feel this way. I had a loving, attentive husband, happy, healthy children, a good job, great sex life, hobbies, good health, nice vacations, friends, great extended family, good economy. My life was wonderful by most measures. Of course, it wasn't perfect, but whose is? You know, I'm sure people could hear this, heard described that from other parts of the world where people sometimes don't know where the next meal is going to come from or whether they're going to be invaded. Hint, hint. And listen to this and be like, what a bitch. Complain about all that? You're complaining, you have all these nice things and your life is empty? You gotta be kidding me, lady. My younger sister got engaged around this time. She's been a bit of a party animal growing up, and her fiance was wonderful. I became jealous of her, like her life, and had been better than mine somehow. Well, party animal is code for a carousel rider. My sister cheated on her fiance before they got married, and he left her. She was devastated. It's interesting. Both these girls are cheaters, and both these gals were dudes that were strong and kicked their girls to the side of the road when they found out about their indiscretions. Awesome. She has told me that her biggest regret, that was her biggest regret, but it's only now that the shoe is on my foot and that I understand her. Somehow I got obsessed with her cheating. I started having fantasies about it, dreaming about it. So about 7 months ago, I started to respond to flirting from a younger, married coworker. So not only are you going to torpedo your marriage and other dudes, but then again, you know, it takes two to tango, so he's just as guilty. And he'll get his in the end too, I might add. It turned into an emotional affair almost immediately. I love the attention. Ding, ding, ding. How many times did I tell you about the gals and attention and validation? It never stops. That's why you have these women in their 30s and 40s that start Instagram accounts for the first time or TikTok, and they're showing off their bodies and doing anything to get attention from dudes. He knew just how to say somehow. The first 2 months was a whirlwind, so exciting, a massive rush. Look, okay, it's nice that people think that you're attractive, okay? Sure. But it's another thing to crave it and act upon it. During this time, I neglected my husband and my family. I would deny my husband intimacy, and I treated him very poorly. Somehow, I managed to resent him for what I was doing. And this is the same gal that's crying the blues and looking for pity online because of how he's done with her and kicking her to the curb. Right here, I treat him very badly. I treated the family. I resented him. I neglected the family. This is why I keep saying boo-hoo. I blamed him for the guilt I was feeling. Looking back, I clearly see how much I hurt him. I saw the pain on his face, pain I so easily ignored at the time. When I first read this, guys, I'm thinking, wait a second here, pain on his face. Maybe hubby isn't so blind. Maybe hubby knows something's up and is planning something. I remember how hard he tried to win me back. But at the time, I somehow managed to justify in my mind what I was doing was my right. I deserved it. In my mind, everybody should just be happy for me. I deserved it. She deserves to have the great family life, and the husband is great to her and provide and good stable income, all that. And but still deserves also to get some side sausage. She deserves it. Again, Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 world. You're not an empowered woman in the 2020s unless you have open relationships or cheating or any of that bullshit. I deserve it. I managed to convince myself that I was entitled to this affair, that it was good for me and nothing else mattered. It turned from an emotional to a physical affair at around 2 months. The sex was mediocre at best. My affair partner was a very selfish lover. Too bad. When I turned physical, the excitement I felt during the emotional affair started to slowly die off. Yeah, because you got what you wanted. It was no longer exciting for what's next. You accomplished everything, okay? It was the flirting and the more attention to eventually kissing and then hooking up. And after that, it's like, oh, nothing else. Okay, I'm bored now. The affair kept going. I wanted the initial excitement back. Ding, ding, ding. But the more time I spent with the affair partner, the less I felt the initial rush. We never had a real deep emotional connection. It was just pretend. Still, I actually believed that I loved him. You loved the attention and validation. That's what you loved. I was also starting to feel more and more guilty for what I was doing, and I took it out on my husband. Somehow I managed to blame him for how I felt and was absolutely terrible to him. Then I felt guilty for that, blamed him for that, and treated him even worse because of it. So she is cheating on this guy and cheating on her family, for being honest here, and she's treating her husband like pure garbage. Okay? I mean, it's bad enough that she's hooking up with some other dude, but now she's treating her husband, who's being good to her, like crap. Now notice that she mentioned that she's treating him like crap, but he's still treating her really good. And how many times have I told you, you don't reward someone that treats you badly. You don't reward bad behavior. If someone's treating you like crap, you stand up for yourself. You don't allow it. I mean, I don't want to give this guy too hard of a time because this guy was the victim here of her selfishness and cheating, but still, just a little point that one out for you relationship guys. Around 2 months into the physical affair, I noticed a drastic change in my husband's behavior. Aha, what could be going on here? He stopped trying to initiate intimacy. He stopped all those little things he used to do for me. He used to leave love notes around for me to find. Normally, he would be going out of his way to make me laugh or smile. He used to kiss and hug me all the time and make this little joyful sound when he did. He stopped including me in his life. He would not even engage me in conversation. Hubby knows, and he's just waiting for his moment to strike. He used to make my favorite meals on the days I had to work late. Now he didn't even make a plate for me when he made a normal dinner. He would only make food for himself and the kids. I tried arguing with him about it, but he just left the house without even saying a word. That makes women freaking crazy when they want to fight and carry on and all this drama, and you just walk away and don't say anything. The silence is more powerful than actually engaging with her, which is actually what they want. I didn't want to accept it. I was in denial, but I know now that he had completely disconnected from our relationship already. The affair with the affair partner deteriorated quickly after that. Still, it continued for almost about a month before I finally broke it off with my affair partner. Strangely enough, I hadn't had any desire to have any more contact with him. Yeah, because you knew your number was up, because you knew that your husband found out. Obviously, his actions were communicating that he knew. So it's you can no longer have your cake and eat it too in that type of scenario. I started going to individual counseling. My therapist pretty much spelt it out for me. Still, I didn't sink in. I refused to come clean. I started to desperately try to reconnect with my husband. I was still in total denial. I managed to convince myself that if I acted like the perfect wife, he would come back to me. My husband showed no interest at all, but he would come around eventually, I told myself. Yeah, well, keep telling yourself that, honey. I believed the crushing guilt would go away if I could reconnect with my husband. I believe we would return to normal, stronger than ever. He would never know the full truth of my betrayal. You think you can do that? to your husband after being married for 18 years and the great life he is providing for you, and treat him like that, and you think you can just go back to the way it was and he would never know the full truth of your behavior. Guess what? Guys are going to find out. The truth comes out. But nobody ever thinks about that at the time. I would dress up the way he likes, spotless, clean the house, try to initiate, cook his favorite food, anything I could think of. Nothing worked. Even if I tried to just touch his hand, he would pull away from me. My husband would barely look at me. He would spend a lot of time out of the house. When I tried to talk to him, in most cases, he wouldn't even respond. If he answered at all, it would be along the lines of, "I don't care." Then he would just leave. Deep down, I knew I'd lost my husband. I just refused to accept it. Before this, whenever he looked at me, there would always be this tremendous amount of love in his eyes. He would rest his eyes on me for long periods of time and lovingly smile. See what happens when women have certainty in relationships? It makes abundantly clear through his actions that she had absolute certainty this guy was never going anywhere. He treated her like the queen, put her on the pedestal. And you know what? You want to, in a perfect world, you could do that to a gal you truly loved. Really, in a perfect world, that'd be nice. But we all know from these stories that I go over, stories, things that you guys send me, when guys start doing this and the women feel completely secure and certain in the relationship, that's when bullshit starts. It'd be nice if it was the other way around, but it's not. That's why. But notice how now that she has uncertainty, right? Now all of a sudden she's kissing his ass all the time. It says here, still I managed to convince myself that we would be all right. Still I hadn't started to cry. A few weeks ago, my husband was in the kitchen. When I came home, he was smiling for the first time in a long time. I sat down, and the rest of the conversation is actually a bit blurry. But I found out my husband knew about the affair almost the entire time. The reason he's smiling is because he's saying, "You're out of here, honey. We're done." That's what's going on. At the end of his speech, he told me we should divorce in such a way that he clearly expected me to enthusiastically want a divorce as well. The reality of my actions crushed in on me all at once. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see clearly. I just couldn't form coherent thoughts or sentences. I don't know how long I sat there babbling, but my sister came and picked me up. She was talking to me in the car. I don't actually know what she said. I think I was still in shock. Some days after that, my husband came to talk to me. I've been desperately reading online about ways to fix your marriage after infidelity. I'd even prepared a full written confession and a timeline for him. I offered him everything, a post-nup, 100% in his favor, full access to everything, anything he wanted at any time, anything at all, if he would just stay with me. Too late. You ruined it. He took the timeline, but he didn't even want to read it. I confessed everything, and for a second, I saw the pain flash across his face again. The same pain that I had so easily ignored so many times during the affair. Not even that little flash was unbearable to me. I could see that he was clearly hiding this pain from me. This hurt me even more. He was still being courteous and fair with me, even though I didn't deserve any of it. Sitting there, I finally had to accept that there was no longer love for me in his eyes. The only thing I could see was distrust and disappointment. As he argued with me, I could no longer deny that this was all my fault. I had broken my husband's trust. I had broken him. He used to be kind, considerate, open, and full of jokes. You bet your ass that this is your fault. How any other way is this not your fault, lady? Remember the whole accountability thing? This new man in front of me is what I created. He was somber, an emotional brick wall, a man that only cared about moving on. He explained in excruciating detail how badly I hurt him, how he would never be the same. Without even blinking, he told me that the love he once had for me had died, killed by my choices. He wants to start dating. He even met a woman in his mind. He didn't want to cheat like me, so he wants to divorce as soon as possible. And I bet you the woman he picks is going to probably be younger and prettier, and that will certainly drive her crazy. He says, I can't understand how I managed to mess up my life so badly. I've destroyed my family, and now my children will have to suffer through the divorce and the pain of growing up in a broken home. Thanks, Mom. At some point after that, I felt unconscious, and I woke up in the hospital. My sister was there, but my husband was not. That devastated me even more. When I came, I started calling everyone, confessing what I had done. I called the affair partner's wife, his parents, our friends, my employer. I resigned as well. Basically, I called everyone I could think of. Everybody hates me now, and I deserve it. So, not that her affair partner isn't innocent in all this, but and he deserves that. But notice it's like, if I'm going down, everybody else is going down with me. So she called the wife of the affair partner and ratted him out, told his parents, all that. Again, karma's a bitch, and he got what he deserved, don't get me wrong, but still, good Lord, misery loves company. Still, my husband isn't talking to me. I destroyed my family, broke the love of my life, traumatized my kids. And for what? Some cheap thrills? I don't understand how I could do this. Can I get my husband to talk to me? How can I ever ask him to do that? It's over, honey. How can I ever face my children again? What do I even say to them? I desperately want to repair this, but how could I even start? Is it even possible? I'm completely lost. I don't know what to do. I don't see any way out. Well, just like I said multiple times throughout this video, boo-hoo. You ruined it. You had a great thing going. Her life, the way she described it, is probably 10 times better than most people's lives as it is, and she still had to go screw the whole thing up. So too freaking bad. No, she's not getting her husband back. It's over. Move on. And the best thing you can do to help this guy out, to show how you're sorry, is to give him as a smooth divorce process as possible and be extremely generous with everything. So with regards to the custody of the kids, the splitting of the assets, alimony, all that stuff. That's how you can show you're sorry. And then maybe you can redeem yourself in that way, in that sense, and leave him alone to start off a new life. And then if you get in a relationship in the future, which I'm guessing she will, because I'm guessing she's above average looks, that she doesn't screw up another good thing. As for the kids, it's going to take time. Some may never forgive you, some may. But that's all you do. Leave him alone, let him move on with his life. That's the best thing you can do to this situation given your actions. But guys, this is a perfect example. Nowadays, again, you're not empowered unless you have an open relationship or have an affair going, and it's being promoted, and you all know this. This is why I do these videos. So, and also, again, I want to point out, notice how he treated her like the queen. She didn't have to worry about anything, felt totally secure and certain. Women hate uncertainty, but yet they're attracted to it, okay? And literally, you have less concern about her cheating or anything like that. If she's so busy focusing on keeping you and worried that if she's treats you a certain way that you're going to walk away from her like that, then there's less and less chance of her stepping out and betraying you and all that. That's why these gals will stay loyal to the bad boys, because they know the bad boys can replace them like this. They know the bad boys will have no problem walking away. So it's finding that for your relationship, guys, finding that happy medium where you're a good guy and you built yourself up to have value and you're successful and doing well, and you treat her well enough, but not too well, and she always knows that if she crosses you, then that's it. You're moving on, and you can replace her ass with someone younger and prettier, and that way then you're likely to get a lot better treatment. But if she is so certain in your relationship, so secure that you're never going to go away no matter what she does, bullshit like this happens. I'm not saying it happens every time, but in varying degrees. If it's not cheating, it's just simply a bad treatment of you. So these are important. All these stories I go over, guys, whether it be the stories I find online or the ones you guys send me, there are great things to learn from this to help everybody along in their lives. And it doesn't make a difference if you live here in the West or you live a different part of the world, different culture. Human beings respond to what they respond. Doesn't make a difference where you live, your culture, religion, your socioeconomic status, whatever the hell it is. Men respond to what they respond to. Women respond to what they respond to. Because I got a lot of people that say, oh, it's different, SSM, in my culture. It's different in my country. No, it's not. You're kidding yourself. So I thought it'd be a good one to go over here. But she got what she deserved. Too bad. This guy, she broke him. And I hope this guy has a great life. I hope he moves on from this and hope he gets the kids and doesn't get hammered in the divorce process, because he deserves it. He does not deserve to be just destroyed any more than he already is. So I wish this guy luck. He may never ever hear from me for this video or anything, but somewhere out there sending good vibes to this dude. All right, guys, that's it for today. I thought it'd be a good one to go over here. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.